Hello, welcome to All 32. My name is Arabia, and here we talk all things football. Just want to show you that today I have on this Dolphins. I'll just stand up. This Dolphins. It's a dress. It's so comfortable. Sometimes I just wear it around the house. I haven't worn it outside yet, but shout out to Miami. I wore it because of today's Thursday night football game versus Baltimore. So cute, so comfortable, so cute, so comfortable. Yeah, so shout out to all the Dolphins fans. Bills fans, I got you. I feel like every video, Bills fans are like, you don't wear Bills gear. So next video, I will wear some Bills gear. Right now, Fanatics has free shipping on orders of $29 or more. So use code 29SHIP and the All 32 Fanatics link in the description box below to get your free shipping. But like I said, last video, I'll just let y'all know when there's more deals around. Okay, so let's just get right into the show. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer said, and I quote, "You can take the stats on offense and shove them up your ass as far as I'm concerned." And I'm not going to lie, I agree. I agree. You know, one of my favorite things to say, and you can make a feature film of me just like saying this over and over again in all these different videos because I say it all the time. Football is not played on a stat sheet. So all these stats that we present, they definitely add to an argument, but they are not the argument. They have to help support whatever your argument is. So let's reference the stats and then talk about why they don't matter. I've praised the Cowboys this season for their offensive prowess through 8 games, almost halfway through the season. The Cowboys rank second in total yards per game. They're first in passing yards per game. They're scoring the second most points per game. Dak is having another great year. 70% completion percentage, over 2,000 yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, passer rating of 101.6. And yet, the Cowboys are 3-4-1. And that's what Brian Schottenheimer is referencing. He says that all this MVP talk about Dak potentially being MVP and how well the Cowboys offense is doing, he said neither he nor Dak are worried about that. Let me just tell you the exact quote. He said, "We want to win. People talk about, hey, MVP this and that. Dak Prescott doesn't want to win MVP. He wants to win a Super Bowl. That's what we want to win. We're not there yet." So the numbers are cool. But what do they mean if they're not translating to wins? So I completely agree with Lil Shotty on this one. Today is Thursday Night Football. We have the Ravens traveling to Miami to play at 8:15 Eastern Time. You can see the video on Prime Video, or you can see the game on Prime Video or on NFL Plus. Now, both teams upset my picks last week. I thought Baltimore could get it done. I thought the Bears could win over Baltimore last game without Lamar Jackson, but Tyler Huntley had other plans and won their first game without Lamar Jackson. And surprisingly, the Dolphins won last week. I had the Falcons winning. The Dolphins had a really good ground game. Atlanta has just been so up and down this season. They lose 30-0 to the Panthers, and then they beat the Bills, and now they lose to Tua and the Dolphins, who ended up looking really, really good. Not just Tua, but again, that ground game. And the defense seems to be picking up for Miami. We'll get there later. So just being a Falcons fan right now must be an absolute roller coaster. This game, though, there's a killer on the loose, and his name is Lamar Jackson Jr., and he's back home in Florida, where he's from, after missing 3 games. I'll give my pick at the end of this segment about Thursday Night Football, but Lamar Jackson's going to face the Ravens' former player and former defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, who is now the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 1-2 at home, and the Ravens are 0-2 away. So either way, one of these teams is going to have to act a little bit different. Mind you, Ravens have been dealing with injury, et cetera, but yeah, the stats aren't looking too good for either one of them. As much as I'd like for this to be just an automatic win for the Ravens were 1-3 with Lamar before he got his right hamstring injured in week 4. So it's not automatic just because Lamar's in. But to be fair, the 3 losses they had in that 1-3 with Lamar Jackson were against Super Bowl contending teams, at least playoff teams, the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs. If you're going to lose 3 games with Lamar Jackson, I would certainly hope that it would be one of those teams. Like, it would have to be an Eagles team. It would have to be a Bucs team, something like that. They weren't out there losing to the Panthers or to the Commanders or a team like that. No offense to Panthers or Commanders fans, but for him to be 1-3 in the start of the season, those are 3 teams that I think is pretty acceptable to lose to. And so this time, Lamar doesn't play the Bills. He doesn't play the Chiefs. He doesn't play the Lions. He plays the Dolphins. Mind you, Lamar plays the Dolphins very, very well. In NFL history, there have only been 10 quarterback games with 5 or more touchdown passes with 3 or fewer incompletions. Lamar Jackson has 2 of those 10. Both of them were against Miami. So will we see more of that tonight? So how will Miami respond to number 8? The Dolphins defense has struggled significantly. They've had 4 games where they've allowed 400 yards and only 1 interception. Although their game against the Browns and the Falcons was much better. They held the Falcons to 45 rushing yards. They held Bijan to 9 carries and 25 rushing yards. So the question is, can they do the same thing with Derrick Henry? Can they hold Derrick Henry and the Ravens the same way that they held Bijan and the Falcons? My answer is no. In that same game against the Falcons, though, Tua had a really good game. As much as I criticize Tua and call him out for these bad things or these weird things at the podium, we have to keep that same loud energy when he does very well. And Tua played very well last week, again, against the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. But that was the headline. Like, Tua playing very well was the headline, but that wasn't necessarily the only surprising thing in the game. The ground game was also very interesting because Mike McDaniel said there would be changes if need be. And there were some changes because there needed to be. We saw a significant increase in gap runs rather than zone runs. And for the first time for the Dolphins this season, they presented 6 different offensive line looks. So I suspect because of their success with that, it'll be more of the same of that tonight. Similar to the Dolphins, the Ravens defense has definitely been struggling this season, but over the last couple of games, they've looked better. They went from allowing 35 points and 400 yards per game to allowing 16 points and 300 yards per game. So definitely that both defense are trying to turn the corner midway through the season. Another question for the Ravens defense is, can they pressure Tua? Tua turned the ball over, okay? Has the most interceptions without pressure. So even if you can't get pressure on Tua, there may be opportunities presented where you can get an INT, where you can get a much-needed turnover on defense. Okay, so will there be a pass rush? Yes or no? Even if there isn't, Tua is liable to turn the ball over. I got to go with the Ravens here. I think Tua played really, really well last game. I think the defense played really well last game. I think the ground game from Miami was great last game. But Lamar Jackson just adds a different energy. He just reinvigorates not just the offense, but adds the energy to this entire team that I think will leave the Dolphins 2-7 by the end of the night. We are midway through the regular season, so I want to give you my personal top 10 list of best rookies in the NFL so far through the season, starting with number 10, running back for the Cleveland Browns, Quinshon Judkins. Now, Judkins looks like he is really developing into a reliable RB1. He has 3 games of at least 20 touches. You can check it down to him. You can run a screenplay with him. The rookie looks really, really good. Number 9 is Will Campbell, tackle for the Patriots. Now, Will Campbell did give up 2 sacks in the first half to Myles Garrett, but it's Myles Garrett, so I can't really hold it against him. He struggles with zone assignments and the run blocking, but he's good at gap schemes. Him and Armand Bimbo, who's a rookie tackle for the Jets, both are easily the 2 best rookies at that position so far this season. Number 8 is Jahad Campbell, linebacker for the Eagles. He's the Eagles' first-round pick out of Alabama. He's good in pass coverage, but he's very good as a pass rusher, which I don't even think they really scratched the surface with this player. So don't be surprised if later on this season or in the playoffs or at some point in the future, they get him involved as a pass rusher. Look out for that. Number 7 is Noel Williams. He's the Chiefs cornerback. He's actually Kansas City's highest graded cornerback. He has yet to allow a first down or an explosive play at all so far this season. And he wasn't targeted at all in that Monday Night Football game versus the Commanders. Number 6 is Gray Zabel, guard for the Seahawks. Now, he has yet to allow a single sack all season. All season. We talk about Sam Darnold, but do we talk enough about Gray Zabel? Okay, this is where the offensive line really comes in. Not only has he not allowed a sack so far this season, he got his first penalty of the entire season in week 5. And on top of all of that, his run blocking win rate leads all guards in the entire league, rookie or not. We've talked about him before on Rookie Watch, and for good reason, with Coach George. At North Dakota State in college, he started games as a left tackle, a left guard, and a right tackle. So he's extremely comfortable on the line, very knowledgeable. I think this rookie will have a very long career. Number 5 is Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver for the Panthers. He's tied for second most targets on conversion downs. He has 27 of those. Last game, each of his receptions moved the chains. He's very reliable in the intermediate game. He has 13 catches for 258 yards, which is tied for 4th most in the league. He has 17 explosive gains and 31 first downs. He's absolutely balling. Don't let the Panthers' losses overshadow what this young man is capable of. Now, number 4, I'm going to cheat here and put 2 people because one of them is injured. And so starting off with Cam Skatteboo, I have to mention Cam Skatteboo in this list. Before he was injured, he led all rookies in first downs, and in the league as a whole, it was 5th best. Only 6 running backs in the league had more receiving yards than him as well. But unfortunately, he's down and out. So in his place, because of his injury, I'm going to put Carson Schwessinger. He's a second-round pick out of UCLA. He's a very effective tackler, which to me is a very underrated skill in the NFL in general, but an especially essential skill, especially at that second level of defense. 52 tackles and 1 sack on the season. He absolutely adds to the reason why the Browns have such a great defense. Number 3 is Abdul Carter, and if you've been following me for a while, you would know that I absolutely dropped to my knees in anguish on draft night when the Giants, of all people, drafted Abdul Carter. I think he's going to be a menace to the NFC East as he develops. But right now, extremely versatile guy. Extremely versatile. Not only is he leading all rookie defenders in quarterback hits, pressures, and total pass rush wins, he also, before week 6, was the only player in the NFL to line up at edge, in the interior, and at linebacker at least 40 times this season. When you've got Brian Burns and Thibodeau and Sexy Dexy and the like, that gives you so many more options as far as your defense goes. So the Giants definitely have a versatile guy on their hands, somebody who you can definitely build an organization around. Number 2 is Tyler Warren, tight end for the Colts, someone who we've also featured here before for Rookie Watch. We've spoken about him for good reason. He's averaging almost 62 receiving yards per game. He's lined up tight. He's lined up in the slot. He's lined up outside, wide out. He's lined up in the backfield. And for him to be so versatile in a position that's already a hybrid position, that just adds a different dimension to the game and is for sure one of the reasons why Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen have Indianapolis leading the NFL right now. Number 1, Emeka Egbuka. Forget the stats. Have you seen him play? Have you seen this rookie play? The Bucs are an absolute cheat code when fully healthy, which is like never. Imagine having a team, just the offense, not to mention the defense or coaching or anything else. Imagine having an offense with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Baker Mayfield, Rachaad White, Bucky Irvin, and these aren't just names that we're just throwing out there that we expect to be good just because of the name on the back of their jersey. These are people who've proven time and time again that they are really good at what they do. Just can't get healthy. And I think the Bucs took a hybrid approach to the draft this year. Number 1, best available. But also number 2, I think they understand their injury problems. And I think they know that between Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and what that receiver room looks like during the season, because it's not always healthy, they maybe wanted to bank on getting someone else. But guess what? Guess who's dealing with injury? Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, absolutely. 17.4 yards per reception, which is 4th in the NFL. He has 78.2 receiving yards per game, which is ranked 7th in the NFL. These Ohio State receivers are just absolutely special. I can't believe I said that. I'm going to throw up after the show. Tampa Bay and these injuries are killing me, but if they didn't deal with injury, they might really be running the NFC right now, maybe even the NFL. So quick news for Raiders fans. Brock Bowers, who has been dealing with a knee injury since week 1. Looks like he is back, which should be music to you guys' ears. They said that he looks really good, so you should see him back really soon. The trade deadline is November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We talked already about a few names that were circulating as far as splashy plays, people who could be dealt here and there. A couple more names, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. Now, it's going to be one or the other, if either one. I'm not saying that one of them is guaranteed to go, but rumor has it that either Chubb or JP could be on the trading block before the deadline. Also, Giants offensive lineman Evan Neal's name has been circulating. The Giants have been very vocal about Thibodeau not being available, which makes sense to me. So if it were to be anyone from that Giants defense, right now the name circulating around is Evan Neal. I touched on Cam Skatteboo in my top 10 list of rookies, but let's talk about what his absence means for the Giants. Now is next man up. And the next man up is Tyrone Tracy Jr. Now, Tyrone Tracy is in his sophomore season. Last season, he was the lead back for the Giants. He had 839 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. He also had 38 receptions for 284 yards. Because he hasn't played as much this season, it could go one of two ways. Either it's a good thing because he's fresh and ready to go. He's not as banged up. He's not as beat down as some of these other backs or players in the league. Or it might be a bad thing because it might take him a while to find his rhythm. Not to say that he's not in football shape, but just to say it might take him a while to heat up and he may not come out just dogging. So it could go one of two ways out the gate. Now, of course, it could be a situation where he is fresh and he comes out strong, but then he could sputter. Or it could be a thing where it finds him a way. It takes him a while to find his rhythm. But either way, it's really hard to replicate the energy and the excitement that Scat brought to New York, that Scat brought to this Giants team. So, and it is what it is. The other day, we were talking about Cam Skatteboo and his injury and the Giants. And, my take basically was like, it was really exciting to see him play, and I hope that he gets well soon. And it sucks that he's out for the season because I really enjoy watching him play. And Cam's whole thing was like, people get injured all the time, and because he's a white running back, people are giving him a type of energy and like sympathy or empathy that they usually don't give black players. Like there's just like this Cam Skatteboo craze right now because he's a white running back who honestly wasn't even performing that well. My whole thing is, it's a few things. Skatteboo has been exciting to watch since college. So if you watched him play in college, watching him play in the NFL is like more of that, more of what we've seen him do in college. And also, unlike a lot of rookie running backs, rookie running backs don't just struggle because of how they tote the rock. They struggle because of their other assignments. Running the ball isn't a running back's only assignment. You have to block, which is one of the reasons why Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt maybe had not gotten as many carries or snaps as people wanted him to because he just wasn't blocking in those assignments. But Scott is an exciting blocker. He's exciting to watch all around. Even when he's not on the ball, he's a very exciting player to watch. So that's just one. Like, I test actually watching games off the stat sheet. Scott is a very exciting person to watch. Now, on the stat sheet, I think Mace mentioned something like, he only has like 4 carries, 4 yards per carry, something like that. I think it's actually less than that. I don't think it's that much. But let's say that it is. Let's say that Cam Skatteboo did have 4 yards per carry. Do that 3 times, and you got yourself more than a first down. Like, 4 yards per carry is good. Like, you can't like turn your nose up at 4 yards per carry. Again, do that 3 times, you marching down the field. You can't stop that. You're going to get it, you're going to drive downfield. So, I understand 100% that there is this like wild craze around Cam Skatteboo. But for me, in my opinion, I think it's for good reason. So hope he recovers well. And I hope we see Tracy come in for the Giants and kind of pick up where Scat left off. Let's do some predictions. First, let's do Saints-Rams. This one seems pretty straightforward, but you never know in 2025 NFL, but I got to go Rams. Next is Jaguars-Raiders. Brock Bowers is back. Jaguars are so up and down. It's in Las Vegas. I'm going to go Jaguars. Chiefs-Bills. Ooh, cannot wait for this game. Rashee Rice is back. Patrick Mahomes is him. I'm going to go Bills winning the regular season, but Chiefs might get their lick back in the playoffs. I'm going to go Bills. Actually, I'm going to go Bills, but I might change my mind on Friday. And then Seahawks, Commanders. Sunday Night Football. The Commanders are going to get dog walked in front of the whole class. I have the Seahawks. Remember, Fanatics has free shipping on orders of $29 or more. Use the All32 link in the description box for your free shipping. That's all the time that we have for today. I'll see you tomorrow.